Welcome. I want to show you the steps on how to make your black and white value scale assignment. This is what your finished assignment should look like. What you'll have is a value scale that goes from black on one square all the way to white on the other square. There'll be 10 squares total. So I'm going to show you how to create this using Pixlr.com, the website Pixlr.com. So if you notice down here, I have all of your steps in order. So we're going to start right here and work through all these steps. So as you're following along, you can read the steps here if you can't hear me very well. So I'm going to start with going to Pixlr.com, Pixlr.com. This is my start screen, and I'm going to choose Open Pixlr Editor. And I'm going to go to Create New Image. Now when I get to this screen, you can see down here my numbers that I want you to use. What I'm going to do is create a very long rectangle that's really short but very wide. So my width, I'm going to go ahead and drag to around 1600. Please don't worry if it's not perfect. You can be around that. And then my height, I'm going to make around 300. That's right there. It's close enough. So I'm going to end up with a long rectangle that's short and wide. And this will give me a lot of space to create my 10 rectangles. Okay? So I'm right here where I'm going to choose my shape tool. This is my shape tool. I'm going to click on this. It's going to let me draw different shapes. It's the drawing tool. The first one is the default is my rectangle tool. That's what I will be using today. You can see the other shapes as a rounded rectangle, a circle or an ellipse, and a line. Today we're going to use rectangle. I'm going to leave all these default settings here, which says opacity, normal mode. I'm going to leave a little border, and my fill shape color. I'm going to start with black. The default is black, so that's fine. We're going to start with black. I'm just going to come on my screen. I'm going to start over here on the edge. I'm going to draw a square. Don't worry if it's perfect. Just do your best square. As soon as I let go, it's going to fill in black, which is my default color, and that's perfect. I'm fine. So I want you to notice now is that we're going to be creating new layers. So each single square that I create is going to be on its own layer. Right here is my layers window. If for some reason you can't see this, then you're going to go to View, and you're going to click on Layers, and then it'll pop up if it's not already there. If I click this now, it'll disappear. So if I go back, I'm going to put it back so I can see. This is my layers window where I'm going to watch all my new layers show up. Okay, so I've drawn my square, and now I'm going to select that square using my selection tool, which is right over here. This is the selection tool or marquee tool. And I'm going to just carefully go only around that square. And then when I have it selected, what I'm going to do is go to Edit, Copy, and then I'm going to paste it. So my first step is Edit to Copy. Here's Copy. I've copied it. Now I'm going to watch over here, watch your layers window. As soon as I go to Edit, Paste, it's going to create a brand new layer. So it pastes it right in the middle. I can move it, but I also want you to notice now I have two layers. So I have my first square and my second square. They're on different layers, which is good because what I can do is move around only this layer and color only this layer, which is what I'll do next. So my next step is to grab my Move tool. I'm down here on step 13. So I'm going to grab my Move tool, and I'm going to move this just right next door to my first square. Okay? Don't worry if it's not perfect. I'm not worried about that, but I'm going to make it go right next to it. Now I can't see a difference. It just looks like a long black bar because it's the same color. So the next step on 14 and on 13, I think I'm off on my numbers. On step 14, okay, I fixed my numbers down here. So now what I'm going to do is go to step 14 and 15 to show you how to change the color. I want a little bit lighter, just a tiny bit lighter of a black or a dark gray. So what I do is I choose color selection. So when I click this black square right here, which is my color selector, I'm going to see all these different colors I can choose. I'm just creating this in black and white. So see all the way along this edge. I'm starting here on black. I'm going to go all the way up to white, 10 steps. So because of that, I'm going to just move tiny bit up here, right about to here. And that's my next step up. And I'm going to push OK. Do you see how it's a lighter gray just a little bit? That's okay. Now I'm going to fill this whole layer, this square in. So the way I do that is next I go up to Paint Bucket tool. This is the Paint Bucket tool. Click that. And then all I need to do is click right here on that square and it fills the whole thing in. So that's 2 of my 10 steps. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to repeat steps 11 through 13 8 more times, so I have 10 total. Each one getting a little bit lighter than the next one. Let me show you one more time while you work along with me. I've already copied this, so now I only have to go to step 11 through 13. So then my next step is to go to Edit Paste, because I still have my black square copied, remember? Now I have 3 layers, so my next step is to move it over. You're just going to do this automatically, and that's too dark. You can see I want it to be lighter. Each step is a little bit lighter, so I'm going to go to my color selector. I'm going to come up this just a little bit up this line, up this edge. Push OK, Paint Bucket tool, fill. There's 3. I'm going to keep going until I've filled this whole page up. Keep repeating it. If you get lost and you forget what layer you're on and you're trying to color one and it colors the wrong square, you need to go over to your layers window and make sure that the blue layer, the active layer, is the one that you're on. So I'm on layer 2, which really means my 3rd square since I start with background. I'm going to keep going over and over again. Copy and paste. Just paste it, edit, paste. There's my new square. Move it. Color it. Go up a little bit lighter, push OK, use my paint bucket, fill it. Alright, it gets much quicker until when you're done, you're going to end up with this. There's all 10 squares. This last one, you can't see because it's so white, so I have 10 squares right here. If you look, you can barely see that last one. When you are done with your entire image, what I want you to do is to go to File, so you have 10 squares, File, Save. Title it Black and White Value Scale. Make sure you select JPEG, and then you're going to push OK, and I want you to save it to your folder. I'm going to save it to my desktop, but save it to your art folder, and then you're good.